Welcome to this tutorial about finding the minimum value and maximum value in an array of numbers. I have a class here with the main, and in the main I have an integer array, and I'm going to be adding another method. This will be a public static method. It returns an integer, which is the minimum value in an int array called numbers. I'm going to declare a min, and this is the value that I'm going to return. Now I'm going to iterate through all of the elements in the array and try to find the minimum one as I go. So I'm going to stop at the first one and check to see if that is the smallest one I've found so far. And then I'll go to the next one. Is that the smallest one I've found so far? So I need to start by providing some initial value for min. Now it could be one of the values in the array. If you know that the array at least has one element in it, you can set it to the first element from index 0. This is an option, and it's a good option, but you can also set it equal to integer.maxValue. This is the largest number that can be stored in an integer, and you're guaranteed that some number in the numbers array will have a value less. Because I'm only reading through the array, I'm not trying to transform the array. The best way to read through an array is simply by using a for each loop. Inside the for each loop, I'm going to check each element to see if that element is smaller than the minimum I've found thus far. If I do find a number that's smaller than the min, then that number becomes the min. And then by the time I've checked through all of the elements, the smallest number in the array will be stored in min. So we're going to test this. And I'm going to call min, and I'm going to pass in numbers. Let's see what happens. And 0 is the smallest number in the array. Now we're going to write a method for the maximum value. So this will be public, static, and it will return an int, which is the maximum value in an array of integers called numbers. I will declare a maximum and set it equal this time to integer.min value. That guarantees that some number in the array will be larger than this initial value. And max is what I'm going to return at the end. So I will iterate through all the values in the array. And as I visit a value, I'm going to check to see if it's bigger than the maximum I've found so far. If it's larger than the maximum I've found so far, it becomes my new max value. By the time the loop is done, we're guaranteed that the largest value in the array will be stored in max. Let's run this code to make sure it works. And it prints out 9 because it's the largest value in the array. In this example, we will look at an array of objects. So we have an array called courses that's filled with 4 different courses. The course class has 2 fields, one for the name of the course, like English, and the enrollment, like 35 students. Our goal is to write a method that will find the course with the largest enrollment. So we'll write a method header. This will be a public static method that will return a course, and it's going to get the max enrollment course. And we'll pass in an array of courses. We have to keep track of 2 things. The course with the largest enrollment, and I'm going to set this equal to null. It'll eventually receive a value as we start to iterate through the array. Then I also have to keep track of the maximum enrollment for the courses as we iterate through them. So I'm going to set this to a really small number. That way, it'll be guaranteed that some course in this listing will have a higher value than this max enrollment. So we're going to iterate through the courses in the array. And as we visit each course, we're going to check its enrollment by calling the get enrollment. So if course.getEnrollment is greater than the max enrollment we have so far, we have to keep track of two things. This just became the course with the largest enrollment, so the max enrollment is now equal to the enrollment in this course. And we also have to keep track of the course itself. So the course with the maximum enrollment at this point is the current course as we iterate. So all we have to do now is simply return the course with the maximum enrollment. All right, let's run this. Now we're going to call this method and see what we get. We're going to pass in courses, and then once we get a course back, I'm going to have it print its name. And the largest course that we see is English. And if we go ahead and change this just to test this, let's say we have 50 students in food science, we'll run it again and we should see food science. So you can see how you can take an array of objects and determine which of those objects has a property with the highest value.